This is a spread in my traveler's notebook. If you would like to see how this all came together, then stick around. Hi guys, it's Courtney. Welcome back to my channel. I am doing something a little bit different today. If you saw my Cocoa Daisy video for September, then you know that I did a little bit of memory keeping in between my planning, and I really loved how that turned out. So I'm continuing that for this month, even though I'm not using a Cocoa Daisy insert. I am using a Tomoe River dot grid in the standard size. So I had this picture that I wanted to use. My husband and I went on a hike, and I took this picture. There's like a creek that goes through the woods, and we crossed it, and I snapped this picture. So I wanted to kind of journal a little bit about this day. I did a lot of prep in advance just because I've never attempted to film one of these videos, and I wasn't really sure how it was going to go. You can see I have these labels that I printed out, and I wanted to stamp on them, so you will see me struggle a bit with stamps. I'm not like proficient at stamping, but like anything else, if you don't, try and practice and keep doing it, then it never gets any better. So I wanted to stamp out "It's okay to not be okay." There was just a lot happening um, during that week, and I was really having a lot of anxiety about it and panic attacks. It was the week of the Kavanaugh hearings, and um, I, will preface this by saying, putting a trigger warning out there. I'm not going to go into detail about it very much, but I am a sexual assault survivor, and the whole process just stirred up a lot of things for me, and so it was just a really rough week. So when my husband suggested that we kind of unplug and get outside, I, kind of balked at it. We're not outdoorsy kind of people by any stretch of the imagination, but it turned out to be exactly what I needed. So at first I attempted to stamp the whole word, and then it wasn't going to fit. So now I'm doing it one by one. And it's still a struggle. It's not like on the label really the way that I wanted it to be, but it's okay. What's the saying? Progress, not perfection. I did manage to get it on there. So that piece of like metallic kind of wood scrapbook paper, I believe that came from Michael's, that I am layering the photo with. And then those flowers I fussy cut out of the paper pad that I was using, which is I want to say it's American Crafts. It's like One Canoe, Two Canoe, the Twilight paper pad, but I will try to remember to leave it linked down below. I got it from Amazon, and that's also where like that marbly paper came from. And I thought it sort of mimicked the colors like in that creek bed. And I'm just trying to figure out like where I want the placement of that to be. So I knew I wanted to I didn't want the letters to be, or the phrase to be all in one place. So I kind of struggle with how I want to do that. And then in this paper pad, they have like the sheet that has kind of the like cut apart sheet that you can use. There's like tags and journaling cards and whatnot. And there was one card that had all of these strips going across, so I just sliced them all down. And I knew I wanted to use it in some way, but I wasn't sure how. And then I did go ahead and stamp the rest of the phrase off camera, so you didn't have to see me like fuss with that too much. And then I also had that blue piece of paper I was trying to use. And then I decided, yeah, I don't want it at the top. I'm going to move it to the bottom and do some other stuff. I apologize that like the framing of this is a bit off. Like I said, I've never really attempted to film a video like this before. So now I'm just cutting that down a little bit. So I finally decide I want those strips to be kind of like ribbon coming from underneath that. So I'm just putting a little bit of double-sided tape with my tape runner, and I'm just going to layer them that way. And as much as I love Tomoe rotor paper to write on, it's not great for like this kind of project because it's so thin. And yeah, I decided that it was just, they tore fine, so I didn't need my slice tool. And then I'm just attaching those at the top. And then I just decide, I had kind of thought I was gonna layer those onto something else. And then I just went with how they were on the page and thought, like, the whole, phrase is, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not have it all figured out. It's okay to, be messy and imperfect and not have your shit together 24/7. And so I just kind of embraced that on the page and went with it. And I think a lot of times, our desire to have everything together is harder and makes, at least for me, it makes everything else more intense, which is kind of what I journaled about on that little card, the front and back. Just, I have the tendency to hold everything in and internalize everything, and then it just builds into this massive, panic. And I have these horrible panic attacks. And, I need to learn how to process things differently. Like, it's not the way that I often do it, is not the healthiest way. You can see I layered some washi, and I'm kind of fooling around. I thought that paper needed, or that side of the page needed something else. So I just wanted to tuck that little flower underneath there, or underneath the journaling that I did. Flowers, are kind of my thing, and they always make me happy. So I just kind of tucked it under there. But that is how it turned out. I'm calling it a finish page, and I like having it in my journal just to remind myself that it's okay. And, turn the page. Tomorrow's a new day. So thanks for watching.